Hey everyone! Today's summary is The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, a twisty story of sisterhood and secrets. Spoiler alert, major plot points revealed. Link to buy is in the description. Rose and Fern Castle are fraternal twins, but they are nothing alike. Rose is short, Fern is tall, and they also have very different personalities. When they were kids, they grew up under the care of their mother, Nina, who seemed to only care about Fern. Nina also has a bad temper, so Rose made sure to protect Fern. Now at 27, Rose is married to Owen, while Fern works in a library. They have dinner at least once a week, and Fern visits their mother on Thursdays. Rose doesn't visit their mother, as they never had a good relationship. During one of their dinners, Fern noticed Rose's pregnancy vitamins. Rose admitted that she and Owen have been trying for a baby, but are having difficulty. She's worried she might not be able to bear a child, but she's constantly searching for solutions. Fern didn't say anything, but she thought about giving Rose a baby. She's healthy and knows she can carry a child. Fern is pretty determined to get pregnant. She just needs to find the right man to have sex with. She met Wally, real name Rocco, initially mistaking him for a homeless man. She calls him Wally because he wears a hat like the one from Where's Wally? They got to know each other, went on a date, and then had sex. Fern really enjoyed Wally's company so much that, as they made love, she even forgot all about getting pregnant for Rose. Rose finally met Wally. She had been in London for a few weeks visiting Owen, and when she got back, she met Wally inside Fern's house. She was worried at first since Fern had mentioned that he lives in a van, basically homeless. However, Rose did some digging and found out that Wally is actually a multimillionaire, a computer programmer who developed a successful app and sold it. Fern got pregnant, and Rose was the first person she told. Rose was worried that both Fern and Wally were incapable of raising a child. Fern, because of her forgetfulness and high sensitivity to light, sound, and touch. And Wally, due to his tendency to be unstable, shown by the fact that he moved out of the country when he got overwhelmed by his success. Rose scheduled Fern for an appointment at a Planned Parenthood clinic, but changed her mind at the last minute. Instead, Rose suggested that Fern could give the baby to her. This was actually Fern's original plan, and it now made sense because she wanted her baby to have loving parents who would always be there, Rose and Owen. They agreed on this, but first, Fern needed to end things with Wally. Rose also suggested that Fern move in with her. She had built a little house in her backyard where Fern could stay. Fern agreed and got some help on how to break it off with Wally. She told him that he had found someone else. Wally accepted this, but before he left, he warned Fern about her sister. Fern didn't listen. Fern also told their mother that she was pregnant and that she planned to have Rose take care of the baby because she was more capable. Although speech impaired due to a drug overdose years ago, Nina managed to warn Fern not to give her baby to Rose. Fern didn't understand why her mother would say this. She mentioned it to Rose, who was bothered by it. As Fern neared her due date, Rose went to the library where Fern worked and brought the news of their mother's death. Fern was shocked, especially since during her weekly visits, her mother seemed to be doing well. She called the facility where Nina had been staying and found out that Rose had visited, and that she was the last person Nina saw before she died. Fern grew suspicious. Fern also met with Wally when he came to the library to talk to her. He was quite stunned to see how pregnant she was. Wally asked if she was okay since Rose had contacted him and told him that Fern was in need of financial assistance. Fern denied this and wondered why Rose would say that. Wally also mentioned that Rose had been visiting him, inviting him for coffee after he and Fern broke up. When Fern was about to give birth, she had no choice but to contact Rose. Rose was a great help during the delivery. Later on, Fern realized that she didn't want to give the baby to Rose, and that she also didn't trust her after everything she had learned about her. She ran away from the hospital with her baby, whom she named Willow, and headed to the library to call Wally. She wasn't able to reach him, and when she went outside to get a better signal, she was greeted by policemen, with Rose. Willow was later taken away from her, and the next thing Fern knew, she was already in a psych ward. A doctor and a detective came to talk to her. She spoke to the detective first. Fern had previously thought the detective was there because of kidnapping charges. Since she took Willow, who was supposed to be Rose's, But the detective clarified that she was there because of Nina's autopsy report, and Rose is the main suspect. They found that Nina had been injected with insulin through her hairline, and Rose had access to insulin since she is diabetic. Fern got another visitor, Owen. He clarified that he was not in London at all. He was in another town because he had decided he could no longer fix his marriage with Rose. Rose had also told him previously about the adoption, which he never agreed to. Fern got another visitor. It was Wally, and she was finally able to tell him that it was his daughter after all. Contrary to what she had previously thought that Wally didn't want a child, he turned out to be a willing and great father once Willow was finally handed back to them. Wally and Fern moved in together and took care of Willow. Fern continued working at the library. Wally sold his second app and earned a lot of money. Meanwhile, nobody has visited Rose yet. Rose is still in jail. And all she has is her journal. She drafted a confession where she wrote the real truth. She admitted that Fern didn't kill Billy, even though she had made Fern believe that. Billy was the son of Nina's boyfriend. Billy died during their camping trip. Fern felt guilty ever since because she and Billy were competing to see who could stay underwater the longest, and she helped him stay down, under Rose's instruction. Rose had been in a foul mood since she started liking Billy, and she had just seen him kiss Fern. She told Fern to keep him down while she watched the time. Fern said 40 seconds, but Rose lied about the time because she intended to kill Billy and blame Fern. As they were recovering Billy, Nina arrived and asked the girls what happened. When Fern answered, Nina already knew that Rose had made her do it. Rose tried to kill Nina 16 years ago. Nina didn't have a drug overdose. Rose injected insulin into her hairline with the intent to kill her, but Nina survived and was left with brain damage. Rose also admitted that she planned it all out, leaving the pregnancy vitamins where Fern would see them. She planned how Fern would react and how she could get the baby. Of course, she wasn't going to confess that easily. So she tore up the confession she had written and started a new one, planning to narrate the events differently so she could blame Nina's death on Fern. That's it for The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, the purchase link is in my bio. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other summaries.